It's 9:05 at 97.5 Glory FM, and welcome once again to the Saturday Morning Sports Show. And hi, everyone. Welcome once again to the Saturday Morning Sports Show. I'm Mike Wofford with you until 10 o'clock this morning as we bring you the latest in local sports on the high school, college, and pro scene. We're going to talk about the wild night in high school football from last night. We'll talk college football today. Also a little bit about the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons kicking things off tomorrow. We'll talk fishing also with our expert Brandon Whitesides and more here on the Saturday Morning Sports Show. It was a wild night last night, as I mentioned, here on 97.5 Glory FM, as we have for the second time this year weather that affected our broadcast, as we had the game between North Hall and East Hall in the 60th meeting of that long-standing rivalry, which dates back to 1958. And we left the ball game last night at midnight because of the weather that was in the area. There was lightning delays. There was torrential rainfall last night, heavy winds, and so we ended up aborting our broadcast at midnight because it was going to be almost 12:45 before the game resumed, and then we had no assurance whether or not they'll be able to continue the ball game last night. But they did after we left. I got information from North Hall. It was around 7 minutes before 2 o'clock. Last information I got when the ball game ended up being one of the most dramatic finishes in the North Hall East Hall series, as it was Alex Schleeman completing a pass to Ty Kemp on the last play of the ball game, and North Hall comes from behind to defeat East Hall by a final score of 51-49. You'll hear from Jody King in just a few moments here on 97.5 Glory FM. Also from last night, the other battle here locally, the Battle of Oakwood. They're going to continue that game. They suspended it in the third quarter at the Hot Gates of Spartanville with West Hall on top of Johnson 23-3. They're going to play Monday night at 6 p.m. and complete that game between the Spartans and the Knights there at the Hot Gates of Spartanville. Also from last night, it was Cherokee Bluff winning their game against Habersham Central 35-14. Weather affected that ball game. They went ahead and ended the game with about 8 minutes to go in the ball game after another lightning delay. They went ahead and called the game, and Habersham Central went back home to Mount Airy as they fell to Cherokee Bluff 35-14, the victory for Coach Tommy Jones Bears. Also from last night, it was Flyer Branch winning their game over Hart County 24-14. Hope we get a chance to talk with John Thompson, one of the assistant coaches there at Flyer Branch, about their victory last night 24-14 with the Falcons defeating the Hart County Bulldogs. Up in Chestatee High last night, in the northwest portion of the county, it was Chestatee coming up with a big win, 26-20 win over East Forsyth, 26-20. And they had also weather delays in that ball game last night and went late into the night. And we'll find out if I can talk with the athletic director, David Bishop, about that ball game. Also around the area, congratulations, first win at Dawson County for Coach Jay Beauchamp, the new head coach this year, as they defeat the Banks County Leopards 32-22, the final win. That one had a shootout up at the Burial Grounds in Dahlonega, with Lumpkin County holding on for a 34-24. I double-checked the score on that one. But the Lumpkin County, they had a battle with Dunwoody last night, winning that ball game over the Dunwoody Wildcats. And it was White County suffering through weather delays over at East Jackson late in the ball game, but they were able to play up most of their game before they had the weather delay. I was going back and forth with Drew Harris about that game, but it was another bad night for White County, with East Jackson winning 31-0, with the Eagles winning another game from last night. Also around the area, Jefferson won their game against Stevens County. It was Madison County, a touchdown better than Commerce. The Tigers still winless on the season. And a wild one down at Buford, as it was the Wolves dominating Roswell for the second straight year, winning that one by a score of 65-21 there at the D. Philip Beard Stadium down at Buford. 65-21, the Wolves winning that ball game from last night. Coming up next, we'll hear from Jody Kenny of North Hall High School about that wild game last night and the wild finish. Coming up next on the Saturday Morning Sports Show.
Summer heat is here in North Georgia, and Conditioned Air Systems is here for you. With 24/7 service for your air conditioning and plumbing repair needs, we will keep you cool, comfortable, and dry all summer long. Our family and team have been delivering reliable quality service for HVAC and plumbing when you need it for over 45 years. Give Conditioned Air Systems a call at 1-800-AC-REPAIR.
Injuries are never planned and often happen after hours or over the weekend. That's why NGPG Orthopedic and Sports Medicine offers the Black and Blue Walk-In Clinic for injured athletes every Monday morning in their offices in Gainesville, Brazelton, Buford, Houston, and Jefferson. No need to call. Just walk right in between 8:30 and 11:30 on Monday mornings, and one of their sports medicine and orthopedic doctors will be there to help identify, treat, and care for your injury. To learn more, you may visit ngpg.org/blackandblue.
As an electric cooperative, Jackson EMC must always have an eye on the future, exploring the newest innovations taking place in every area of our business. Ideas that lead to a better use of resources and improved ways of conducting business. Automated switch technology, iPads in the field, and internal networking that enable us to pinpoint outages, access complex mapping, and provide faster response times. Jackson EMC, innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow.
This is Matt Nix, president of Duplicating Products. Our local business has served Northeast Georgia with trusted office equipment and local service support for over 50 years. We're proud to support high school football and proud to help businesses stay up and running with fast personal service. As the region's largest independent Canon, Ricoh, and HP dealer, we offer the industry's best equipment backed by real local people. When your copier or printer goes down, we're there fast. Visit duplicatingproducts.com. We're local and ready to serve you.
And back on the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM. Going to the phones for our first interview of the morning, talking with Jody Kenny of North Hall High School. And it was either late night or early morning for Jody. Hey, Jody.
Good morning, Mike.
So that one last night was one that you will always remember. 100 points scored, over 1,000 yards total in the ball game from last night. So I had to leave last night at around midnight, and I go back to the point. I'll go ahead and say this first off. I've heard before it's all about the experience, but was anybody left to experience the victory last night for North Hall?
Well, put it this way: you could hear every comment from individual comment from fans. We're for fans are both. If there was any criticism of the referees, they could pretty much had time to just go one by one and enunciate them very clearly. There were. Like I said, it was an intimate gathering by the end there. Got to give out. I don't know all their names. There were actually 6 guys from the North Hall student section that stuck it out to the end.
All right.
So the only one I actually knew the name of was John Donatelli, Michael's twin brother.
How about that? So let's talk about for a moment. Did you expect this kind of ball game, Jody?
Well, you never expect that kind of ball game. We knew from past history with East Hall, but from past history with them, and from just the type of athletes they have with Jamarcus and Chasen and Khalil Goss and those guys. I mean, that's a dangerous team you're dealing with. We knew that it had the potential to be a shootout like this, and it's just that's the thing you have to know going in, and when you're playing a team with that many weapons, and we were playing without Parker Carlton, who's kind of the linchpin of our defense right in the middle, and it showed at times, and missing Parker, and we were also we were missing one of the explosive guys on offense in Wyatt Tumlin, plus missing Parker over there when he plays offense. So, we knew there were a lot of factors lined up that made this kind of game possible, and it sure enough did happen.
All right, so let's talk about how it ended up. So we left the ball game was 31-21 at midnight. Had another weather delay, and game started around 1 o'clock again. You ended right before 2 a.m. this morning. And the game started out with the two teams scoring in the first 3 plays of the ball game, and it ended almost the exact same way with teams scoring in the last 32 seconds of the ball game.
It really did. I mean, East Hall they scored. They scored with a little under 4 minutes left to cut it to 3.
So North Hall was at 45-35 at that point, right? Or a little more.
45-42 at that point.
Right.
They attempted an onside kick, and their kicker kind of rolled over the top of it, and it didn't go 10 yards. So we've got the ball, 3 minutes 40 seconds or so at their 44-yard line. We need 2 first downs to kill it, and so naturally, just to increase the drama, we do the one thing on first down that you cannot do, which was get a holding penalty. And then we took a sack on second down and an incomplete pass. So, I mean, we not only did not kill the clock, we didn't even force them to take a timeout.
Wow. How about that?
I mean, that is when it comes to clock killing, we kind of spit the bit there, right there at the end. And, so we had them third down and long, down in the shadow, down in the red zone, and Jamarcus threw one up for grabs and had an opportunity to intercept it and didn't hold on to it, and then they
chase and get it.
Yeah, well, no, they didn't. But on the next play, they hit the running back and we knocked him out on the 1, and he scored on the next play.
Right, Lucas Pruitt.
Lucas Pruitt he scored with about 20 seconds left. We had timeouts, so.
So what I understand it is Lucas scores, they get the PATs, 32 seconds to go to the ball game. East Hall is up 49-45 at that point, and then they kick off, and Ty Kemp ends up being the hero again. He gets the kickoff and gets into East Hall territory. Then it goes to the finish.
Yeah, gets to the East Hall territory. We get 3 plays off and get a first down and get it down to the 27. And then, like I said, Pender called the play called score.
So we call it a Big Ben play for the Falcons days, Hail Mary, however it's going to be, just up and see if you can catch the ball.
Actually, what he called is play number 1 in the air raid playbook. 4 verse.
I love that.
I mean, it is just. I mean, it is the first. It is
play number 1.
It is the. Yeah. Well, I mean.
Ty go deep.
Mike Leach. It's everyone go deep. Everyone just go run straight down the field and go deep. Alex, pick one.
Yes.
And that's where it was. Yeah, that's the one Mike Leach. When you asked Mike Leach what the name of that play was, he called it 6. And he said, why do you call it 6? Because it's supposed to score 6 at 6.
Exactly. It's the old backyard play. It's like, okay, Jody, go deep. Here's what you go here. I'll throw it to you.
I mean, the play is the most simple pass play you can come up with. You have one receiver each going down the numbers on each side, and one going down the hash on each side, and their job is to run straight down the field.
So the question is that you had Cole Cable, you had Ty Kemp out there. Who else did you have out there to try to catch it?
Let's see. We had
Dawson.
Dawson Gray, and I believe Jack McCloskey.
How about that?
So, so we throw it to the shortest one. Which, but listen, if you don't know about Ty Kemp, last couple of weeks it taught you what we already knew. I mean, and I told him after the game, I said, listen, you'd already achieved greatness. I said, now you're a legend. And
this series especially, people have remembered this for a long time.
This one's going to be talked about for a while. And but man, a lot of credit to Coach Turner and his staff over at East Hall. I mean, they had their kids prepared to play, and their kids the kids played hard the entire game, and it was a fight. That is a dangerous team.
Well, some people didn't give them the credit they needed. To be honest with you, after they lost that Saturday night game to Oglethorpe County, where they committed some turnovers and lost that game, and then last week they defeat Johnson, and people say, okay, so what? Then last night they proved a lot of things to a lot of people.
They really did, like I said, and they were, I tell you, after 4 years of it, Godspeed, Jamarcus Harrison. No, we don't want to ever see you again.
You'll see him on Saturdays, okay? When he's playing Georgia Tech,
we don't see him on Saturdays. That is, I don't know the young man. I know some people that do. They all speak very highly of him.
Absolutely.
It's one of those. And I love to watch him play when he's not playing us. That he's a really special talent. Oh my gosh, can he just graduate, please?
Yes, well, I guess the one term we can say to wrap things up, Jody, we call instant victory for North Hall last night. It was an instant win because he snatched it because he thought he was going to win that ball game there at the end. It came down to the last play of the ball game. It ended up being sudden death for the Vikings and an instant win for North Hall, 51-49. Get 100 points scored between those two teams. And what went about 6.5 hours?
Yeah, it went about 6.5 hours. And in one game, we had a 400-yard passer, 3 100-yard receivers, and a 100-yard rusher in one game.
Yes. And that could have been a season back in the day from that standpoint. That's amazing.
Yeah. So
and then Jamarcus throws 4 TD passes on top of everything else on their side.
Yeah, Alex threw 3, and Smith McGarvey ran for 3.
Wow.
And it was just, so it started out in the track. There's 3 touchdowns scored in the first 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, first.
And then it settled into a different kind of flow, and
defense got together.
It was.
So how did the weather affect things, Jody, in your mind? Because they went in and out to the field house and evacuating the stadium, that kind of thing. There's only so much you can do to get prepared for that kind of thing.
Yeah, you really, it's, you just have to, you got to kind of roll with it, and, you have a general plan for it, but the thing is you never know how long these things are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So you take advantage of the time, first off to make any adjustments, treat it like a halftime. And handle that, and then it's a matter of, getting kids, getting the ones that rehydrated need to be rehydrated, getting pads off of them, on a hot, humid night like last night, taking care of them physically, and then once you get kind of a schedule on restarting. Then you start getting them mentally re-prepared to play. So it does put a lot on the coaching staff. Every time you have to do that. But we got a great staff, and
Well, I'll tell you what, too. I want everybody to know, too, thanks again to the North Hall Touchdown Club and Bobby Shoemaker at Chick-fil-A for providing some food for us there in the press box at about midnight last night. It was a nice midnight snack. I appreciate it very much.
Yes. You're most welcome. Like I said, we were all of us up in the press box were getting a bit peckish by then, I know.
Well, it's all about the experience, okay? That's what it's all about.
This will always be one of the more memorable games in North Hall history, just for all the things. There wasn't a whole lot missing from this one.
All right, now get ready for Chestatee, okay?
We're going to get ready for Chestatee. We left the coach's office. We always
a few minutes ago?
Well, yeah, it seemed like it. And just the bad jokes flowing at almost 4 a.m.
Uh-huh.
And because we have our we have a coaches meeting every Sunday afternoon for our game plan meeting. And Pender starts one game and goes, "See y'all tomorrow."
Uh-huh. You
We're
ready?
like, yeah, because he is pointing out that we were well into Saturday. But, see you tomorrow.
Hey, with that,
like,
hey, you're going to Atlanta today?
I am not. I've actually got to announce a North Hall softball game in about an hour and a half.
Region game?
No, it's a non-region game, North Precise, but
Ooh, big one.
And I asked Coach Johnson, our receivers coach, whose wife is the head softball coach. I said, you think your wife would let you give me a pass on today? He goes, if I got to be there, you got to be there.
So give me a real quick update. So Jackets are running Bulldogs.
I mean, of course I'm going to pick Jackets, but have you ever seen a Bulldog actually run?
That's the nickname of the Gardner Web. I will leave it from that standpoint. So maybe the Jackets can come up with a big win today and go 2-0. Okay, man?
Yeah, okay.
All right, Bill.
All right, Mike.
Thanks, man. See you next week. Appreciate it very much. That's Jody Kenny of the North Hall football team. As he keeps all the stats, he'll send me stats, and there's a bunch of them. Again, 100 points scored last night between North Hall and East Hall, and what a game for both teams. You can talk about it all day long on the East Hall side, which is Marcus Harrison, Lucas Pruitt, Chasen Jones, all the others in North Hall. Ty Kemp, the hero, once again, he was the Georgia Player of the Week last week for his big game that he had against Cherokee Bluff. And last night, he gets the historic pass play from Alex Schleeman, and the Trojans win by a score of 51-49 at about 2 o'clock this morning. And we'll have more details about high school football coming up next here on this Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.5 Glory FM.
It's kickoff time, Gainesville, and Hardy Chevrolet has the winning lineup you've been waiting for. From rugged Silverados to family-ready SUVs, our inventory is stacked for every game. And customer service, it's always first string. Visit Hardy Chevrolet at 2115 Brownsbridge Road, Gainesville, Georgia. Hardy Chevrolet, where you're always part of the hometown team. Together, let's drive.
Siphon Logistics' commitment is to provide you, the customer, with on-time pickup and delivery every time. Members of the Siphon family have been in the transportation business since 1984. The Siphon Logistics transportation professionals are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, providing maximum flexibility and options to produce the most successful shipping arrangements. Call Siphon Logistics at 770-287-8485 and take a look at their website at siphonlogistics.com.
Ever feel like your house is just missing a little something? Custom window treatments can go a long way to making your house feel like a home. Call Millie's Drapery and Decorating today for the best in custom drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. We can schedule for one of our designers to come out to your home, take measurements, and give you an estimate right there on site. That's Millie's Drapery and Decorating, 1732 Cleveland Highway in Gainesville, or give us a call at 770-532-3819.
Here I am on the road again, ready to pick up the kids from school, go by the grocery store, and do all the things a busy mother does. It's because I just left North Hall Tire and Wheel, where they made sure I was ready to go. They put on a fresh set of tires, checked the brakes, and even the battery. I know I can trust Mike and Matt and the guys at North Hall Tire and Wheel. They have everything you need, all the name brand tires at the best prices, and the service you need. They're on Cleveland Highway in Gainesville, so give them a call at 770-297-5308.
And welcome back to the Saturday Morning Sports Show here on 97.5 Glory FM with a live video stream on our YouTube channel at Team Glory Sports. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel and be a part of our broadcast at Team Glory Sports on YouTube. We go back to the phones down and talk with John Thompson of the Flyer Branch football team. Another late night for them. Hey, good morning, John.
Hey, good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. About you? You wake? I noticed your wake-up call. I called you this morning. So, did y'all have any delays last night?
Oh, not only did we have a delay, we had a long delay. Yes, sir, we did, and everything. It was a late night. We finally got off the field around midnight, like a lot of area teams in northeast Georgia. But, we got it done and got fortunate enough to come away with a win.
And another big win is Coach Perry was talking about how dangerous Hart County is. Falcons winning 24-14 over Hart County. And I asked him, I said, what did you learn from the Lumpkin County game about how they defeated Hart County? And he was like, well, he was wanting to downplay it. It's like, okay, he wasn't that confident, it seemed like, talking about. I knew he was, and what y'all had to do to defeat Hart County. So how was it?
I mean, Mike, what Coach Perry told you before the game is 100% correct. They are really good. They are very talented, very athletic. They've got a ton of speed. And, of course, Corey does a great job. He and his staff do a great job up there and everything. But, our kids, everybody made it a point that we have not been 3-1 since, Coach Hall's last year. And, our kids took a little pride in that, having that opportunity in front of them. And being at home again, it helped and everything. But, the biggest thing I've got to tell you and everybody else listening, offensively, we did not play as well last night. We had a couple of drops, which is not like us. But to win a game like that, you got to be pretty good in all three phases. And our defense played lights out. Coach Head and his staff came up with a great game plan to try to contain that quarterback. That quarterback is really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
And our special teams played really well. We recovered a couple of muff punts, and there was one time early in the game that they had the ball, and Griffin Harper just stripped the ball out of the guy's hands and took off. I mean, and then he opened up on offense with a long run that got us down in scoring position. I mean, and then Brooks ended up kicking a long field goal that was critical in the second half, which put it a 2-possession game because they ended up coming down and scoring. And if we don't hit that field goal, it's a 1-possession game with them onside kicking with 3 minutes to go in the ball game with them having 3 timeouts.
Sure. Does everybody know about Griffin Harper?
Field goal.
I was talking to Coach Perry about Griffin. Is that he's a all-state championship wrestler, and he is that tough, and he's hard to bring down if nothing else.
Oh, there's no doubt. He is. He's a very strong kid. He's a very good kid. He doesn't say a whole lot, and when he does, he's got a lot of wit to him. So I have a lot of fun coaching him because sometimes at practice he'll come up with some good one-liners. I'm like, all right, you got me. But he's a great kid. But I mean, we got a bunch of great kids, and we still got a long way to go. We told them enjoy it for 24 hours. We're giving them Monday off because we're open, and then we'll go back to work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and start getting ready to work on ourselves and fix some of the things we need to fix, and start introducing Eastside because Eastside comes to town in 2 weeks, and that's our region opener. And you would always like to start on the front end of the region with a win.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that later because Eastside's been a really difficult team for the Branch to beat in the last few years because they're a very good football team out of Newton County down in Covington, and of course we'll talk to you about that. So tell me about some of the highlights. Again, to me, and we talked about it, is the defense had to stop Hart County, and then Brett had to lead the offense there and see what Griffin could do to get some points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is we scored a couple times on special teams. They set it up, and I got to give all the kudos to the defense. I mean, how they hemmed up that quarterback is beyond me because he is really good. He's probably the best quarterback we have seen so far.
Wow.
They had a good running back. They were big up front on the defensive line. They were very similar to size-wise to Jackson County. I think Jackson County is a little bit more experienced than they were. But as far as comparable, they were very similar to Jackson County up front. And, of course, some of their skilled guys on defense, they could run now. I mean, they cut down some of our passing lanes pretty quick. And Brett threaded the needle on a couple of passes to Trey. And that got us the ball moving down the field and everything. But, again, hats off to our defense. They played unbelievable. And they've just gotten better each week, a little bit at a time. After that scrimmage game, Coach Head knew some things he needed to fix, and he's trying to fit the pieces to the puzzle.
and we're still trying to fit it, and that's what preseason is about, so to speak, before you get to the region. But I think he's got an idea of where those pieces need to fit and everything, and we just got to work on ourselves and get better and get ready to roll for the region.
Well, you got that loss to Jackson County like it was, and then now 3 straight wins and going non-region 3-1. That's got to give the teams some momentum, especially going into the off week.
I think so, and I mean, talking to the kids last night after the game and just seeing they're enjoying playing football. I mean, that's the thing that's fun to watch as a coach. I mean, they come to practice and they don't complain or anything, and I mean they're yes sir, no sir, and they try to do whatever we ask them to do. And when you have kids like that and they play hard, then it's fun to coach those type kids.
There you go. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
It is, and we got Coach Griff, our AD, and Mr. Farrer, our principal. They're right there. They stayed there throughout the entire delay, communicating with us, and they supported us. Well, they met last night. The discussion was possibly playing today, and we were like, no, everybody's here. This thing's going to blow through. If we have to play at midnight, we're going to play at midnight. We're not coming back tomorrow. We're going to get this thing finished because that's what's right for both sets of kids, because it's not fair to make Hart County drive 2 hours home and come back 2 hours more tomorrow. Today. I mean, you're here. Let's go ahead and get it played, and we were fortunate enough the weather broke and we were able to get it played.
All right, so the Falcons win 24-14 over Hart County. They moved to 3-1 of the season. Have a great week off, friend. We'll talk in a couple weeks, okay?
All right, Mike. Thanks for everything you do for high school sports.
Thanks, friend. I appreciate it very much. John Thompson, one of the assistant coaches there for Coach Michael Perry and the Flyer Branch Falcons as they win by a score of 24-14. We're back with more of the Saturday Morning Sports Show. We'll talk about fishing on the Lake Lanier up next here on the Saturday Morning Sports Show.
EMC Security.
Hey, it's Coach Mark Richt here. Everyone knows defense wins championships. And if you're not using EMC Security to defend your home and family, you need to step up your game. With EMC Security's no contract and local service, they are a clear number one. So give them a call or visit them online at emcsecurity.com. That's emcsecurity.com.
EMC Security. Smart protection for a safer tomorrow.
Back to school shouldn't mean back to the doctor. Make sure you go to Riverside Pharmacy for all of your health needs. They have everything from hand sanitizers to all of the vitamins you'll need. But if your child does get sick, then the expert pharmacists at Riverside Pharmacy can get your family back to school by filling all of your prescriptions. They'll even deliver them in the Gainesville area. Riverside Pharmacy across the street from City Park, serving Gainesville for over 60 years.
This is Representative Lee Hawkins, your representative to the state legislature. I want to wish all the local athletes in our area the very best this season. Your team is very important to the success of our community, and I look forward to seeing you play this year and to see what you accomplish in the classrooms and in the community. I also look forward to serving you and your family in the state legislature. This message paid for by the committee to re-elect Lee Hawkins.
Whether it's on the football field or planning for retirement, it's important to have the right team around you to succeed. I'm Alex Schliman, quarterback for the North Hall Trojans. While I'm out throwing touchdowns, my family is assisting clients with their financial planning needs. Are you looking to retire soon, receiving an inheritance, selling a business, or simply have questions about the market? The team at Sullivan & Schliman Wealth Management is here to help. Reach out to us to make sure you and your family are surrounded by a winning team. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA and SIPC.
97.5 Glory FM, the Saturday Morning Sports Show with you until 10 o'clock this morning, recapping the high school football winners from last night. As you heard, it was Fly Branch over Hart County. Cherokee Bluff defeats Habersham Central in a weather-shortened ball game. It was a suspended game last night with the Battle of Oakwood, West Hall, and Johnson. Spartans leading 23-3 over Johnson. They'll play that game, finish it up on Monday night at 6 from Oakwood there at West Hall High School. Also last night, the game you heard all about it. North Hall defeating the East Hall Vikings 51-49. Basically got scoring the Vikings 51-49 about 2 o'clock this morning with Ty Kemp catching the winning touchdown. And the last play of the game as the horn went off last night. Also from last night, it was Chestatee defeating East Forsyth 26-20. It was Dawson County over Banks County. Lumpkin County, their winner over Dunwoody. It was East Jackson blanking White County. Lakeview Academy gets a win on the road. They defeat Windsor Academy. Riverside Prep falls to Bethlehem Christian in region play, and it was Buford a winner last night in a big way over Roswell. Gainesville had the evening off. Everybody, we'll see how the schedule gets ready for next week. Our broadcast next Friday will feature the Battle of Highway 60 with Chestatee taking on North Hall. And one of the guys who will join us next week is on the phone was now talking college and pro sports. But you also can just tell me what you thought real quickly about last night's high school game. Harper LaBelle's on the phone with us there.
Hey, Harper.
Morning, Mike. Yeah, it came early, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Late night for everybody that was a part of high school action all over the state, pretty much. I mean, at least in North Georgia. That was a very unique evening, and I actually put a smile on my face that they got to finish the game when I heard it about a half hour ago when you were talking about the scores. And what a great game. I mean, really was exciting in many respects. And if I'm East Hall, even though I lose it and I'm 2-2, I know I've got a pretty good team in my locker room. We can play with just about anybody. So I don't go away from that with a loss if I'm the Vikings.
Exactly.
Yes, you have to take the loss, but nonetheless, you know you can play with just about anybody out there.
All right, so it's a Saturday. You're getting ready for your college broadcast night with Dave Cohen, with Georgia State. We'll go on the air at 6:30 with the Panther pregame show counting down to kickoff of Memphis and Georgia State. And then tomorrow, the Atlanta Falcons, you were telling me about. You don't really know what's going to happen to the Falcons as far as they take on Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's my answer, Mike. I mean, you want me to come on here and give you all this great analysis and all. I just haven't seen anything. If you have, tell me, because I'm going to say the three-word answer that I gave my dad when he says, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? And I go, I don't know.
Exactly.
Harper, what do you think about Baker Mayfield? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Geno Smith. I don't know how Aaron Rodgers is going to play. Is Matthew Stafford 100%? Is Joe Burrow going to be a guy that really has a breakout season? Is Baltimore and Buffalo, are either of those two teams going to actually take on the Chiefs and beat them in the AFC Championship game and get to the Super Bowl? I don't know. What's going to happen in Detroit this year? How are they going to play against Green Bay? That's the fun part about it. But the analysis aspect is we haven't seen anything unless you've been at practice every day. And even then, that really doesn't count. So I was excited that the season started on Thursday. And it was, 21-20 at half, but it ended 24-21 between the Eagles and the Cowboys. So I still don't know what I'm going to get from either of those teams, but it's going to be fun trying to figure it out.
How about last night, and we were talking about the Chargers and the Chiefs going down to Brazil, of all places, to play football. And do you take anything from that game?
Well, I know what the league is trying to do. They want to grow the game, and they want to market it, and they want to make sure other countries have a chance to pay top dollar for tickets to a game in a soccer stadium and watch some American football be played. That's the goal and the aspiration. You're not going to do that if every game is played in SoFi Stadium or Allegiant Field or wherever it is. But I think that's a heck of a long way to go for a regular season game that does count and matter. And Kansas City can easily say, we traveled 5,000 or 6,000 miles, and then got to get in a plane, get back, and now get ready for week 2. It's tough. No one said it would be easy, but the better teams, Kansas City being one of them, gets invited to do that a heck of a lot more than, let's say, Atlanta or the New Orleans.
All right, Harper, tell me this as a former player. How about the experience for a player? Do they get to experience much of that community, say, going to Brazil, or is it just going ahead and getting out of your hotel, going to the bus, going to the stadium, playing the game, and getting back and heading back home?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I was never a part of a regular season travel like that. I've been to Canada. I played in it's called the America Bowl in Toronto. That was kind of a neat experience. A lot of teams would go over to Europe. They play in Germany or they play in London, and that's fine. You don't know. You're not there to travel. They always tell you when you get on an airplane and you go anywhere, it's a business trip. And you are, in many cases, you're going to wear a suit and a tie, and you're going to get your business done. You go home, and then you can relax and do whatever you need to, but not while you're on the road. So I imagine there may have been a few hours to go see either the beach or a big lake that they've got or, some touristy thing. But the guys weren't really there to do that. Not at the professional level. It's a completely different trip.
All right, so that's one of the big things right there. So we look forward to the first game. So then, how quickly can you evaluate, say, for example, what the Falcons do tomorrow? The other teams in the NFC South, for example, is it the first series, first half, the overall the ball game? After that point, from a fan standpoint and also from a player standpoint, how do you look at it, that first game being played tomorrow?
Well, it's almost as if I would really take this like a preseason game, but that has a lot more importance to it because it counts. When I was playing, Frank Gans used to say it's important, but it doesn't matter. That's what the preseason was all about.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you're going to make the team, how well you play, how you get yourself ready for back then, the 16 regular season games. It's important, but if you get a 97-yard touchdown return, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't go into the record book. There's nothing that is significant in that other than what does it take for you to make the team. Now it does matter, but I'm expecting a lot of penalties, a lot of punts, maybe a few personal fouls. Those are the P's, but I hope that there's a W in there somewhere and that
Yes.
the cohesiveness that you need to have between, just your four-wide offense versus your, two tight end offense and your two running back offense. The Falcons have a lot of things that they need to work out, and they have against everybody else on the team in practices. Now, how's that going to work out against Tampa Bay? And I think Tampa Bay's a favorite to go deep into the playoffs. So can you upset them? Because I would consider it upset. And get a little bit of a home field advantage back, fill that gym up, so to speak, Mercedes, and use it for your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't really done that yet. There are a lot of questions that I still have, Mike. Maybe you do as well.
Oh, sure.
But I don't know if Michael Penix is going to be what the fans expect him to be, and a guy that just, Steve Barkowski 2, or Matt Ryan 2, or Chris Chandler 2, a guy that takes us to the Super Bowl. I haven't seen enough of it yet to know, but I'm certainly looking forward to finding out. And the beginning of that is tomorrow afternoon.
Well, the fear is he might be out the quarterback prior to Kirk Cousins. That was I guess everybody hoped for the best, but it didn't work out from that standpoint. That young man, if he's even still in the league right now, I don't even know if he's a backup even right now. But go back, a year ago, you and I were talking this time, Harper, compared to this year, we were so excited about last year going into that first game of the season. Totally different atmosphere going into this year's first game.
I know. Yeah, last year was very exciting. A huge move, a number one draft pick, the number one signing.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons were in the mix in terms of the ESPN, Sports Illustrated, any publication at all that was out there was going. And what did you see in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
And now there's no one cares anymore. They're too busy talking about all these other things, and that's fine. Go ahead. I don't know if Tua is going to stay healthy this year, and I don't know if the Saints are a hot mess. We'll figure it out. But Atlanta has gone back under the radar, and hopefully they've got their business together. Second year with a new coach, second year with a really new quarterback. But really, he's only played, 3 or 4 starts.
Sure.
So that's going to be an interesting phenomenon to see how he gets over his sophomore slump versus Jaden Daniels, who played the whole season and took him to the NFC Championship game. Yes, if I'm in Washington, I'm going, yeah, we're under the radar, and we love it. We've been waiting for years for this, and we've got a good team, and we're going to show the world what it is. Atlanta has to respond with a couple of early wins and significant consistency. That's the thing. They get a win, and then they lose 2. You can't have that this year.
Was there anybody in the preseason that made the team that you was not expecting to make the team that could, help out the team this year?
Well, any defensive help to me is not only a surprise but a welcome relief.
Sure.
But the cap wasn't the same this year. They struggled with it throughout the off season, and they couldn't make some of those significant moves like they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look in Green Bay what they're going to do right now. When they sign Micah Parsons for this year, who, by the way, he already had a contract, Mike.
Yep.
He was signed for this year. This is the last year of his rookie deal, and he wanted more money. He was making about $23, $24 million, and he wanted $30. He felt he was being underpaid, and that's fine. He has the right to do that. And the Cowboys have the right to either accept that claim or reject it, and they decided to reject it. They traded him. They got 2 first-round picks. And what is that value? in Green Bay, they've gone to the playoffs, 6 of the last 7 years, so you're picking 24th, 26th, somewhere in that range. So Green Bay gave up a lot to get him, but I don't know if the Cowboys got a lot. You know, if Green Bay falls into the dumpster this year and it's a number 5 pick, well, then now I'm starting to see a lot of value. But at 25, 26, I don't know. I really don't. But now he signed an extension for $188 million, and now Green Bay is going to have cap problems for the next 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that Harper brings to the table every Saturday morning is the business standpoint of it. And people don't understand a lot of times is about, okay, there's only so much you can do with the money that you got with a team. And now with the Kirk Cousins deal on top of everything else, you're really just tight with what you can do with a team.
You get $1, I get $1, Nathan gets $1, and we're all saying, okay, here's our rule. You can go get whoever you want, but if you spend 99 cents on one guy, that's your fault. You know, you have to be accountable for that. And that's what makes it a little more level play, if you will, or fair. But, how people manage that. And the Falcons have been in cap hell. A lot of teams have. When it first started, there was nobody that was worse at the cap in managing it than Dallas. They paid Dion, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin. Jay Novacek was kind of part of that, and then Charles Haley. They had 5 or 6 guys making 70% of their money. And the rest of the team, it was either you're going to stay on the team or we'll let you go. Don't complain, because there's just no way to do it. They've learned to manage it differently, but it's a fine art. One guy's going to want more than another, and that's just the way the league is. How do you balance that and put together a team that is good and likes each other? That's the magic.
And then that's where the cap's going to really play a lot into it. So tomorrow it's Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Michael Penix Jr. with the Atlanta Falcons kickoff at 1 p.m. from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Final thing for you, so I'll get Dave here in a moment. So getting ready for tonight's ball game. You saw last night high school football. Today you got college, tomorrow pro. Give me real quick what we think about the chances for the Panthers tonight.
Well, first thing I'm going to say is, what's the weather going to be? If it's going to be a lightning type of situation down in Atlanta, then we're going to have to bring some sandwiches, cold cuts, and some other stuff, just because it's going to be a long night. And Mike, I heard you say it a little while ago. That thank you to the North Hall Touchdown Club for sharing a bunch of sandwiches with the media. They did not have to do that. That was very, very kind, and Jody was awesome to bring that in. But the Panthers have to rebound from what happened last year, mentally as much as anything.
Yep.
They couldn't stop Ole Miss at all. When it was 40, 50, early 63 to nothing or 3, stop. It's just too much. So get your assignments right. On defense, know who you got to get. Memphis is a very talented football team and have been for years. Mike, they can play anybody at any time.
Yep.
Anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been like that. They have always impressed me. University of Alabama, Birmingham, Boise State. They're a non-Power 5 school that plays like they belong in the Power 5, and they're mad that they're not there. So that's going to be a tough thing to compete against, but do my job first, and now I can compete with anybody. And that's what I think the first thing the Panthers have to do, and that's what I'm going to tell Dave tonight.
Yeah, they could have been, in my mind, in the Big 12 conference rather than going where they did. They were so close to those schools in that part of the media of that conference. They could have easily been there, and they're a team really you got to be aware of this evening. Is Memphis taking on Georgia State. Always thanks to Harper Bell, but I'll see you on Friday night, okay, man?
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Thanks, Mike. Have a great day.
You too. Appreciate it very much. He is the best when it comes to pro football right here on 97.5 Glory FM. Coming up next, we'll wrap things up. We'll talk with Dave Cole, his partner of the Georgia State football game coming up this evening here on 97.5 Glory FM.
Summer heat is here in North Georgia, and Conditioned Air Systems is here for you. With 24/7 service for your air conditioning and plumbing repair needs, we will keep you cool, comfortable, and dry all summer long. Our family and team have been delivering reliable quality service for HVAC and plumbing when you need it for over 45 years. Give Conditioned Air Systems a call at 1-800-AC-REPAIR.
Injuries are never planned and often happen after hours or over the weekend. That's why NGPG Orthopedic and Sports Medicine offers the Black and Blue Walk-In Clinic for injured athletes every Monday morning in their offices in Gainesville, Brazelton, Buford, Houston, and Jefferson. No need to call. Just walk right in between 8:30 and 11:30 on Monday mornings. And one of their sports medicine and orthopedic doctors will be there to help identify, treat, and care for your injury. To learn more, you may visit ngpg.org/black and blue.
And we're back on the Saturday Morning Sports Show. 5 minutes left in the program. That means we got a chance to preview tonight's ball game between Georgia State and Memphis. Talking with Dave Cohen, the voice of Georgia State. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Mike. I told you when we left the stadium last night. Talk to you in a few hours.
Yep, and I appreciate you so much joining us last night for the play-by-play, filling in for Joe Gailey. I wish it had been a game we could have finished last night from that standpoint, but you heard how the game ended about 2 o'clock this morning with North Hall outscoring East Hall 51-49 with a touchdown on the last play of the ball game. You would love to see that happen again tonight, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, no question. And I heard a little bit of your conversation with Harper. And, the thing that Coach Del McGee told me, even going back to Sunbelt Media Day in New Orleans when we were talking on the preview show about the non-conference portion of the schedule. I'm not sure everyone does, but I know the Georgia State staff looks at Memphis and they see really a de facto Power 4 program that's in the American Athletic Conference from facilities and a financial. They're right up there with maybe not Ohio State and Alabama and, some of the upper-level Power 4s, but Memphis is definitely a program that is a little bit higher up on the ladder than, say, the Sun Belt Conference USA, the MAC. And, they're coming into Atlanta, coming off a game where they beat UT Chattanooga last Saturday 45-10. They've got a really well-balanced offense. They've got a dual-threat quarterback, kind of like what we saw from Jamarcus Harrison last night at the game we were doing. So, as Harper said, going to have to know your assignments, especially on the defensive side of the football. Get off to a good start. Can't get down and behind in the game early. I know that's easier said than done sometimes, but, this would be a really, really nice way to bounce back from what was a 63-7 loss at Ole Miss last Saturday night against a really, really good Memphis team. What did they do last? They went 11-2 last year, didn't they?
Yes, they sure did. Yes.
Yeah.
So the big question for you, real quickly, who's going to quarterback the Panthers tonight?
Well, it'll either be Christian Veyer, Cameron Brown, or the new face in the quarterback room, T.J. Finley, who has been at Georgia State, interestingly enough, since May, enrolled in classes and practicing. Although I didn't really see him that much around the football facility at Center Park Credit Union Stadium. I did meet him, last Thursday. Seems like a really, really nice kid. But he's every bit of 6'8" and can really sling the football. He's been all over the place. This is going to be his 6th school. He's already been at LSU, Tulane, Auburn, where we last crossed paths with him, and that's what I call woulda, coulda, shoulda game against the Auburn Tigers 4 or 5 years ago. He's been at Western Kentucky, Texas State, and now at Georgia State. So I'm assuming this is his last stop as a college football player. But when I asked Coach McGee, and you'll hear it tonight on the pregame show, about who may start at quarterback, I kind of got that look, and I think his response was, at the time of recording the pregame show, I'm not quite sure who exactly will start, but it will be one of the three.
It's a game-time decision, he'll say, from that standpoint, Dave. So we talked about last night, just the quickness of a team like Ole Miss. Is Memphis anywhere like that kind of quickness as Ole Miss had last week?
Probably not as fast as Ole Miss is, and they play fast on both sides of the ball, and it was very evident. Coach McGee talked about that in his pregame last week, that, defensively they were going to have to get set quickly and be able to keep up with the Ole Miss tempo. I don't think you'll see it quite that way with Memphis tonight when the Tigers come into town. But still, again, they put 45 up last Saturday, I understand, against Chattanooga. But Georgia State's going to have to be ready defensively, whatever tempo they come with. They've got a dual-threat quarterback that Georgia State's going to have to be ready with. They can run the football. And they've got quality receivers.
They've got a good buddy.
97.5 Glory FM is WGTJ Murrayville, Gainesville.